poopsies. For today's video, I'm going to be featuring a book that I made when I was in middle school, and this is called The Wonderful Life of Antonio, and I blocked out my actual last name for privacy purposes. This is a picture of me when I was younger, and you've seen this in the puppet roleplay video. This was 2007-2008 school year. So I'm going to be flipping these pages and reading from this book, so you know a little bit more about me and my life in general, a little bit of my past, I mean. So hope you enjoy this. First page, there's this cover. There's a picture here. There's an airplane in the sky, and sunlight, and the clouds with the birds and the wind. And below is a darkness thunderstorm, the ocean. And these are like different levels of positive things and negative things that have happened in my life. And I put on a level of 1 to 5 and -1 to -5. So on the negative side, I put on the worst event. Mom went to the hospital for pre-cancer. Next one up is parents gave our dog away before I got home from Macedonia. Third one up, received chicken pox from my brother from another person. Second up, received a bad stomach virus and had pain for 5 days. And then almost drowned in a pool in Florida. And the first one up, for the positive things, I put taught how to ride a bicycle. Won a lot of money on a website that I go to, not real money, and it was at the time Neopets. I used to play that website all the time when I was a little boy. Joined senior band. Went on the best vacation I ever been so far. Mom didn't have to visit the hospital anymore and was cured from her pre-cancerous condition. So, those are the table of contents. Self-description, my birth, family, school days, vacation, saddest event, happiest event, devotion, poems, and 100 adjectives. That's what's in this magical booklet of mine. First page welcomes you. And I write an introduction here. Keep in mind, the grammar is not nearly as correct as I would write today. I was a little kid back then, so although intelligent, bear with the grammar. It's not my actual writing right now. Well, I am going to tell you about my entire life so far, starting with the description of myself, then moving on to my birth, and then about my family members. Next, I will talk about my school days, and then after school, what I do afterwards on vacation. Afterwards, I will talk about the saddest event of my life, then my happiest one. And I put a sad face and a happy face together. Anyway, afterwards, you will read about my devotion to someone special, then my favorite poems that describe me. Finally, you will get to see 100 adjectives about myself, a picture that describes my personality, and a description of the picture. Well, this is all of what you will see in my autobiography, so let's begin with my description. They made us do this for a project, I believe, in the 7th grade for English and reading. Okay, true story, you guys. My 7th and 8th grade teachers both went to jail after a few years for doing some really bad stuff. I'm not going to go into that. That's just true story. There's my brother and me above a snake, not a real snake. This was in, I think, Rainforest Cafe in the Gurney Mills Mall in Illinois. And this is me, so cute. I posted this picture on my Instagram. This was around Christmas time. Such a little boy. Chapter 1. love the different color text I put and all that. They told us to be as creative as we could, and I put so many different color papers. I really wanted to get an A on this project, so. But I enjoyed doing this as well, and I got to learn a bit about myself during the process. And I'm surprised at how many things relate to me in real life today from reading this. So I'm really glad our teachers made us do this, even though he was a criminal. Hello, reader. What you are about to read will uncover details about myself, and I will get to that right away. Well, I will explain my physical characteristics. I have light brown eyes and light brown hair. I used to have green eyes when I was a baby, but a lot has changed. I am 5 foot 1 inch, weigh only 80 pounds, and yes, I am skinny. Well, that is about it for my physical characteristics, but here comes my personality. This is too cute, you guys. I just had to read this to you. My personality is described as something like friendly, intelligent, a bit shy, and caring. Most people agree with me about this one, since it is all true. So on to what others think about my personality. My parents and friends would describe me as a kind person, a little lazy at times, shy in front of others, but very talkative. Okay, just at home. My parents agree that I would not shut up most times, so I try to keep quiet once in a while. Well, on to my particular likes and dislikes, which is what I suppose is my own main description of myself. See, in English, I was never good at writing transitional sentences to make it flow evenly, so I think the teachers could tell even back then that I was pretty bad at that, and I was not going to exceed in that category. Anyway, the things I like are penguins, owls, television, playing on my computer, video games, Pepsi/Coke, and reading books. Now about the things I dislike, which are spiders, snakes, jealousy, anger, boring days, getting in trouble, and in pain. All of those things are very true today, as far as the dislikes go. Trust me, I have had enough stomach pains, and I totally dislike pain. I have many more dislikes than likes, but there are too many to mention. This is about it for my likes and dislikes, but enough about my personality currently. I will talk about when I was only a baby. True fact, this is the only scrapbook I've ever done. This is me with some neighbor's cat. That's me when I was just a little baby. So cute. That's my brother holding a Pocahontas tape, and look at that 80s/90s kind of couch that they had back then. Okay, this was during the 90s, but it looks like it's the 80s. And the clothing too. Oh my god, I can't believe we wore those things. And there's sassy Bomboni. Even back then I was like, hell yeah, look at me. Chapter 2. Let me start off this chapter about my birth. I was born on September the 13th in 1994 in the Swedish Covenant Hospital in Chicago. I weighed about 7 pounds and 11 ounces. I was about 52 centimeters long, and I looked very chubby and what people called me cute. Another strange piece of information about my birth is that I was born exactly at 12 in the afternoon. Exactly. All 3 hands on the 12. Now let me talk about the details of my birth. My parents did not know ahead of time when I was going to be born, or if I was going to be a boy or a girl. They were first expecting a girl from me. My mom was surprised. And notice some things I scratch out for privacy reasons, like last names and stuff. If I were the opposite sex, then my name would have been Victoria. Yep. My parents chose my name by searching through some books with newborn names and thinking up of ideas, so they thought of a good one like Antonio. My mom's pregnancy was good. She had only a little pain, but that was because of the weight. It was going well for my mom, and there was no problem with my birth. Now that I've talked about all of my birth and personality, let me head on to my family. I didn't mention this in the book at the time because it may have been too personal when I was a younger kid. But my mom had the hardest time with my birth, honestly speaking. It took, I think, like a few hours. My brother was like really fast. My brother was like, because of my big head, it took my mom so long, and she was like basically suffering while it went down, let's just say. Again, for privacy reasons, I had to cut out some part of the picture, but there's my mom. She was like lot scratched off here, so just don't mind that. Chapter 3. I will start off this chapter with my family. My mom, Tanya, is 43 years old, has brown hair, dark brown eyes, and is about 5 feet 8 inches. Her likes are wildlife, the natural world, and tropical states. She dislikes snakes, spiders, and working in the house all the time because she cleans the house every day. She doesn't go to work and she go to school anymore. Again, the grammar. And she doesn't go to school anymore. We get along very well, and if I have a problem, I tell her. My brother Daniel is 16 years old. He has dark brown eyes, black hair, and is about 5 feet 8 inches. He likes playing video games, not having school, and great foods. He dislikes me, sometimes, having school and long homework. He does not work yet, but he goes to school it was at the time ACHS. We do not get along sometimes, but my brother is nice to me. Well, that is enough about my family and I. Why not move on to my previous life at school? I really hope you can't read the scratched out text, because in a certain light you could still read it. I don't really care, to be honest. I just don't prefer mentioning someone. It's me. I think this was in the 2nd grade, and they made us like glue ourselves on like a Trix cereal box kind of thing. It was so cute. And there's me. I posted this picture on Instagram too, and I won a few awards in the school, like everyone else did, for being a good kid. Nothing special, no big deal. Chapter 4. Now I will start this chapter with my school day life. When I was in kindergarten, my teacher's name was Mrs. Francis. My friends were Hannah, David, John, Paul, Danny, and Janet. My memories from that time were that I was a gifted student. I had great friends. I went to Macedonia for 2 months during the end of the school year, and I learned sign language in kindergarten. True story. I think I can still do some of it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I think it was like H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, something, Q, R, S, T, I think it was like U, V, W, X, Y, Z, something like that. I just learned the alphabet, maybe a few words, I don't remember much. In 1st grade, my teacher, Mrs. Yusuf. My friends were David, Danny, George, and Rebecca. My memories were that I was a good, smart student. I learned many new things. I socialized with my friends a lot, and it was the most exciting school year I had. I went to Daniel Boone School here. In 2nd grade, that was when 9/11 happened, when I was in 1st grade. I still remember that. A very, very frightening day. In 2nd year, my teacher was Mrs. Mangus, and my friends were Kevin, Joey, Jordan, Jared, and George. My memories of 2nd grade were that I had a great teacher. We were taught mainly about science and plants growth. We were also taught how to write a sentence and all of its punctuations, grammar, etc. I went to Oakland School on this grade. In 3rd grade, my teacher was Mrs. Bessler. My friends were Joey, Anna, Cody, Jordan, Jared, Jessica, Danny, and another kid named Joey and Danny. Another Danny. I had a great teacher, and she was really kind to me and explained a lot to help me. We learned about science and animal life. I was a smart thinker, and this was the year when I started talking everything out. Yep. That's 3rd grade was the first time a teacher actually yelled at me. Maybe I was being a little too sassy. But she was really nice, though. She was such a sweet old lady. I loved her. In 4th grade, my teacher was Mr. Smith. The friends I had were Jared, Jordan, Anna, Leroy, Joey, Kevin, and Sean. I went on vacation a lot this year, and my grades dropped because of missing school from this, but I always managed to get them back up. I was in honors math in 4th grade, and our class was in a portable, which was very exciting. I didn't have a normal classroom environment. I was actually, it was kind of like a more, like a poorer kind of school. They couldn't really afford to, like, push everything together, or, like, extend the school to, like, 2 stories, so they just made portables. And, yeah, I did go on vacation a lot that year, because, my parents were making a lot of this at that time before the economy. This is a picture of Oakland School, with all the little kids. I think this was during a ceremony. We had held all our ceremonies in that gym because And this is me before what's it called? Not a flute, a recorder concert. Yeah, the recorder. Everyone was made to play a recorder, and I dressed like a badass. Even then. In the 5th grade, my teacher was Mrs. Smith. Yeah, 4th grade, Mr. Smith. 5th grade, Mrs. Smith. Ironically, that's the same year that Mr. and Mrs. Smith came out in theaters. Yeah, I felt special. My friends were Anna, Brandon, Alex, Nick, Cody, Matt, Brianna, Alexa, and Emily. 5th grade was my favorite year because I met many new friends, moved to New Haven, and learned a lot more in this grade. I had good grades and straight A's at the end of the school year. I was in honors math and started band. In 6th grade, my homeroom teacher was Mrs. Jorgensen. For math, I had Mr. Capelong. For social studies, I had Mr. Rad. For science, I had Mr. Hostetler. For gym, I had Mrs. Hook. For honors reading in LA, I had Mrs. Laudenslager. And for band, I had Mr. Bush. Mr. Bush, God bless the man. He was the best man to teach an instrument. I'm kind of getting teary right now because he was a really good teacher. I'm always going to forget that man, Mr. Bush. He was the best. Like, if I still had him as a teacher through high school, I probably would have still continued playing the clarinet. Oh, wow. My friends were Matt, Brianna, Alexa, Emily, Alex, Sean, Andy, Kyle, Anna, and Jake. 6th grade was, by the way, the reason why I keep stating my friends and certain repeat things is because they made us do it in this format for the project. Anyway, 6th grade was okay, but, well, boring. Honors reading in LA was my least favorite subject at the time, but from it I knew many more things to prepare me for 7th grade. I socialized with my friends a lot. We had many field trips in 6th grade also. I was in honors math pre-algebra and that year, and I was also in junior band. In my current grade, which is 7th, my homeroom teacher is Mr. Tilk. For math, I had Mrs. Boris. For science, I have Mrs. Delutri. For social studies, I have Mr. Johnson. For honors reading in LA, I have Mr. Owens. For band, I have Mr. Bush. And for gym, I have Mrs. Markworth. My friends are Alex, Sean, Andy, Kyle, Jake, Sarah W., Sarah K., Anna, Brianna, and Alexa. This year was great at school because I got straight A's in the 2nd quarter, and I do well in all my classes. My 3 favorite classes this year are science, senior band, and honors reading / LA. I'm in Algebra 1, and I'm always trying my hardest to improve my grades. While that wraps up my school life, let me talk about what I do when I'm not in school or at summer break. This is me in Hollywood, California. There's the sign right there in the back. This was the closest we could possibly get with her. At the time, we were driving this Mercedes up this hill, and it was like such a steep hill. We had to like climb up, and I really wanted to take a picture because I was a little brat, so... And this is Hollywood again. Or no, Hollywood. Was it Hollywood? I think so. It's where all the stars are on the walkway and stuff. My mom, me, and my brother. And this is in Universal Studios, Orlando. I think this is me and my mom with the fanny pack. And my brother. I remember when fanny packs were like totally in. Sometimes I miss the 2000s, like the early 2000s. Oh, I have so many good memories from there. What happened to the world, right? Anyway, Chapter 5. Have you ever been to a place where there is a condo with a pool and a great view? Well, it is a wonderful place to be, and it is where I went on vacation. That sounds like everywhere else, Tony. Of course, I wouldn't know that at the time. You should seriously visit this mysterious for now place in this paragraph. Okay, this place is worth your money. If you want to go, then you should book a flight now. It is really worth it. It sounds like a Travelocity advertisement. On this now not so mysterious vacation I traveled to is Florida. Oh my gosh, the grammar is like so bad. I love it. My brother, mom, I'm getting my words tied up here. My brother and mom went with me to this vacation. We went during the winter break of 2006 and 2007. We usually go to vacation almost every month, but this time we go sometime due to some problems we had previously had. Now I will talk about the things we did while we were at our vacation. The first thing we did was set up our things at a condo. We had to buy some chairs, a table, and order some furniture from Rooms to Go. Since we moved a lot of our stuff because our renters were living there a few months ago, we had to move some back. We also bought about $200 worth of food. Typical. The next thing we did was swim in the condo's pool area and eat some lunch there on the tables. It was sunny and somewhat cloudy that day, and every time the clouds turned up, we would complain because we couldn't get out our tan. Luckily, none of us got sunburned because we dipped ourselves in the pool about 3 times that day and had sunscreen on. The next thing we did was go to Sarasota's famous Kilwin's chocolate and sweets store. They sold ice cream, chocolates, Rice Krispie turtle sticks, and much more. It was a great store, and we always visit that place every time we visit Florida. Do you like to read like this, like you're just lining your fingertips along the lines? I like reading like that. I don't know. It gives me comfort. Around the time of New Year's Day, about 1 hour, we walked around the shops by Kilwin's and ate some ice cream and celebrated before the new year came. We ate lunch first, which was some seafood, and then came back to our condo on time to celebrate the countdown. It was an exciting moment in our lives to celebrate in Florida, but for some reason it is always bad luck to travel somewhere on New Year's Day for our family. I don't know why. The next thing we did on our vacation was go to the beach where there is a lot of shells to collect and white, clear, crisp sand to step on with your bare feet, and it feels really good. Anyway, it was sunny and the water was about 85 degrees Fahrenheit. We also took a tan and collected the fancy shells to keep back at home. There's a poster card of Sarasota, Florida. Lovely, lovely Sarasota. Okay. And this is me and my brother in I thought this was Hollywood. I don't know why I put that again. And this is in one of the places in, I think, Universal Studios, Florida, my brother and me. The next thing we did was go to Busch Gardens. We went there for about a total of 10 hours, and we had a great time. We got to go on a train to see the animals like giraffes and other animals. We also ate some lunch there and yummy cotton candy. We also took a path to go check out the animals and what they are doing. We had a great time, and I won a frog plush toy on the machine. Smiley face. The next thing we did was go to a seafood restaurant and eat a buffet. The place was nice, and they had a lot of food there 24/7. The service was great, and they gave you a great deal on the food there, and since the other restaurant was competing with them, Mrs. Chen's, the restaurant we went to, was the best, and business was going down on the other one. I would like to go there again soon. True fact, all these years later, Mrs. Chen's was closed down for business because somebody apparently found cockroaches under the table. So the other one that was doing bad before is now doing great because that's the only better option. And now they opened like a faux one next to that one. It's not as popular, so it's weird how the tables turn sometimes, but I don't believe that. I do think it's still alleged that there were roaches. I don't think it's true. That was the best Chinese restaurant I've ever been to, and I was so upset they closed. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. But anyway, moving on. The last thing we did on our vacation was shopping through shops that were outdoors like a flea market. Unfortunately, they were pretty expensive, and we barely bought the thing, just a few pictures of animals. They had other things like these mini statues and other stuff like souvenirs and all that stuff. It was a warm day outside, and the shops closed very early, which stunk, but oh well. And true story, one of those animal photo frames I have hanging up right now in my apartment. I keep it after all these years. Our vacation was a great one, and the best one we went to at any time we have been to Florida. We had no problems or bad issues going on there. My family liked this nice sunny weather, and we disliked the time when it was really humid outdoors. It's always humid in Florida. If we had the opportunity, I would like to take this vacation again. It was the best one we had, which is a great coincidence to type on my auto bio right now. Now that I told you about my great time, let me tell you about a tragic, sad event of my life. Sad face. Chapter 6, a sad story. There's me when I lived in Lakevilla, Illinois, in a little house on 7th Street. You can even probably look it up on Google Maps now, because I don't live there anymore, so of course you can check it out if you want. There's that gazebo we owned, and that little garage, and everything was nicely set up. We had a huge garden, and a pathway, and a huge fence all around. Very tiny house, but the outside was the best part of it. The saddest event of my life was terrible. It occurred on May of 2005 at 7th Street in Lake Villa. I was playing with my friends outdoors and was eating a popsicle, playing in the leaves and running around with my friends. Then it hit me the next day, something anyone would never want to happen, almost die. I was eating a popsicle with my friend in a hot, dry day. There were plenty of leaves outside floating around and kids running all over the place. Then I suppose it was the dry air and popsicle that suddenly got me a bad stomach virus. It almost killed me for those 5 days of pain. I started vomiting terribly and had pain going on every 10 minutes. It was such a bad virus. If I didn't take the medicine, I probably would have died. I had to visit the hospital and get an IV shot. It really hurt because they poked the wrong nerve, which caused my arms to be paralyzed for a few minutes. True story. After those 5 days, I slept for 12 hours straight and felt much better afterwards. I didn't write this part down, but the nurse said, "I don't know what's wrong with you." She gave me a full body CAT scan. Everything's okay. She said, all your organs, everything. She gave me a huge dosage of Tylenol. Knocked me right out. I was asleep those 12 hours. I felt better the next day. Never happened again. I started to eat normally and had no vomiting occurring. I thank my parents for taking care of me, and I'm thankful I'm still alive until this day. Smiley face. I also learned my lesson to never eat another popsicle at another person's house again. I didn't really trust my friend's mother. She looked kind of fishy, so you never know what they could put in your food. Okay. There's a birthday, my brother, mom, and me looking so happy to eat this cake. I always loved sweets. And there's my mom in her old Chrysler van in the winter. Chapter 7, my happiest moment. The happiest event so far in my life was at January of 2004 at Lake Villa. This event was so exciting, it dealt with me hopping all around the house like mad. It first started off with my mom going to the hospital a while. She had to go every day to the hospital for chemotherapy treatment to prevent the cancer from occurring. My mother had to go one last time one day. She only had to go stay in the hospital bed for 3 days and not move so they could cure her. Then she came back after those 3 days, and I was so excited she survived this whole time. I started jumping up and down all over the house and started crying of joy. My brother and I made a certificate for her as thanks for going through all this just to live and still be with us. After this, my mom still can't lift heavy things up to this day. She has many hot flashes and cannot talk when she needs her own space because of the heat. She felt much better after going every day to the hospital, and her whole family celebrated the exciting moment. This was my happiest event because my mother is up and okay to this day, and nothing wrong has occurred to her, knock on wood. I'm also really thankful what he has done to keep my mom alive and okay. Smiley face. There's my mom and me. I think this was in Lake Michigan, Chicago. And my mom in Florida in front of a fountain in front of the entrance to the community we used to part-time live in Florida. Chapter 8. Does anyone or even you have a favorite persons in your life? Well, if you do, then I should tell you I also have one. The name of this person is Tanya, aka my mother. I know her very well because I've talked many times to her, and she has helped me through all my problems. What my mother has done for me is help and support me through all my problems and thoughts of concern. My mom is always there for me whenever I need help also. If my life depended on someone, it would be my mother because she is the best help I can get from anything. She is supportive, and when I am under stress, she makes me laugh so I would be relieved. When in need of what to do, she always gives me ideas of what to do on a boring day, like a snow day. Whenever I have a problem, my mom always told me to tell her so she can help me. The main event that occurred when she helped me was when my saddest time of my life occurred. When I had my stomach virus, she helped me feel better during those 5 days and probably saved my life. Whenever I had pain coming in and out, she got me some tea to drink and heated up a brick in the oven and wrapped it in a towel to warm my stomach. She helped me a bunch, and I could not have made it without her. This page explains a lot about my mom and how much of a great person she is, thanks to her. This next page, I drew a big pencil that has the word poetry on it. It's so random. Poems. The Tune. I think this is a haiku. They made us write 2 different kind of poems, I think. Band. Loud, exciting, marching, playing, thinking, uses a lot of skill, band. This is another one that describes me. Antonio, creative, skillful, smart, organized, brother of Daniel, loves good TV shows, video games, playing on the computer, who feels excitement when playing an instrument, joy when eating food, and excitement when having money. Who needs more money? Time and Pepsi. Who gives pencil lead, time, and ideas. Who fears spiders, snakes, and ugly frogs. Who would like to see Sydney, Australia. Resident of Antioch, Illinois. And then my last name at the end. I drew this owl all by myself, not traced, and it has 100 words engraved within the owl. And I'm going to read them to you, all 100 adjectives. Good, healthy, lucky, joyous, relieved, successful, thankful, thoughtful, victorious, high-pitched, loud, patient, lazy, frantic, thin, funny, kind, shy, smart, bright, friendly, energetic, young, outgoing, helpful, intelligent, exciting, interesting, clumsy, weird, quick, rare, silly, strange, testy, tough, wide-eyed, jittery, noiseless, sneaky, annoying, splendid, glorious, amused, brave, enthusiastic, lively, zealous, zany, courageous, busy, clever, curious, different, wandering, bored, disturbed, agreeable, eager, encouraging, excited, calm, grotesque, light, motionless, unusual, open, inquisitive, brainy, exuberant, alert, clean, distinct, interested, concerned, rapid, nutty, condemned, tired, early, determined, arrogant, mysterious, uptight, elated, gentle, tense, shivering, steady, poised, Macedonian, super, innocent, powerful, workful, talented, sleepy, learned, fair, and cooperative. And I put an owl because it's like my favorite animal. Poopsie. 100 adjectives picture. The reason why I chose the owl picture for my 100 adjectives is because it describes my personality. I am a shy, usually peaceful type of bird, and I can act like one when I feel like it. I can get silly at times, and when I'm angry, I can devour or make a comeback, so I would feel better. Darn, I was even sassy back then, talking about comebacks. I was my own diva. Nobody could mess with me back then. The main carnivore that eats me up, school. What I eat, meat and some plants like in a salad. I also think owls are cool and they are the most awesome birds on the food chain. Oh, and one more thing. Why I'm like an owl is because when I stare blankly at something, my eyes are staring blankly like an owl's eyes, staring right at you. And the last page shows my best accomplishments, things I want to accomplish in the future, and the picture I drew like of the owl, and then a phrase that apparently I like pie. That's my phrase. And I put a report card with A's on it. That silly site, Neopets, and wanting to win 10 million Neo points. 8th grade graduation. Clarinet high school band contract. And I actually accomplished all of these things, though this was short term. This was long term. Long term scholarship, I did get that. Traveling the earth, did that. Science jobs. I went for earth science, but didn't finish, so that's partly true. Ka-ching, lots of money. Partly true. Awards. Partly true. Yeah, so my point is dreams do come true. Sometimes they change slightly, but nothing is ever as you 100% plan it. Because whoever's up there doesn't want that for you. He always has a better plan. So this was very therapeutic for me to read. I loved it. And I encourage all of you to do this. and share your memories with each other. And life is all about memories, so it's just so beautiful. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna be away on a trip. You have 8 videos to watch that I've posted in the last 2 weeks, this being the last 8th one. I'll be back in a couple weeks with more videos, okay? So I just wanted to pre-record all of these, leave them up for you so you have something to watch while I am away, okay? I love all of you so much, and I will miss you, but I need this time off. It's been too long, so, but I will be back, I promise. Back to myself again. I really need this. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing, putting it in your playlist, everything, okay? So, catch up on me, my updates on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,